Disclaimer. This content may dramatize real events and include speculation. Viewer discretion is advised as details may not be fully verified. For years, Justin Bieber stayed silent. As the world watched him grow from a YouTube star to a global pop star, hardly anyone knew what was happening behind closed doors. But now, as lawsuits against Diddy pile up and more stars come forward with shocking stories, Justin finally seems ready to speak. And what he's saying is very disturbing. Lately, quiet rumors have turned into loud theories from fans. Old videos are coming back online. And now, people are looking closely at Justin's past with Diddy.
But this time, it's not about vague posts or weird interviews. It's about what Justin says he saw with his own eyes. He's supposedly revealing a list of celebrities and rappers that Diddy was connected to, including big names like Usher and Meek Mill. These claims aren't just gossip anymore. Some of these stars had strange links with Diddy before, like Meek Mill's leaked info. And now, things are starting to fit together. Fans who once ignored odd moments and strange party stories are now realizing something darker may have been going on. And Justin is now speaking about it openly. He recently shared a video on his social media that got a lot of attention. In the video, Justin is eating pizza while Cassie was testifying against Diddy in court, and fans think he was trying to send a message. Famous journalist and Pizzagate figure Liz Crokin said, "The video seems like it came from a hidden camera.
Just like the ones Diddy used at private parties to blackmail people." Justin's posts suggest he saw things that no child should have been exposed to. Stories about sleepovers, being forced to watch things, and the strange power games happening around Diddy. For years, people laughed off Justin's wild teenage behavior. His breakdowns, drug use, and outbursts were seen as normal celebrity issues. But now, more people believe his actions may have come from real pain. And what's even scarier? This might be just the start. It all began with Usher. Before becoming a global icon, Usher was just a young teen chasing his dream. Music executive L.A. Reid spotted his talent early and signed him to LaFace Records. But entering the music industry wasn't only about talent. There were silent rules and powerful people you had to impress. That's when Sean Diddy Combs came into the picture. At the beginning of Usher's career, he was placed under Diddy's guidance.
He was told that if he wanted to be a star, he had to learn from one of the biggest names in the game, and Diddy was one of the top guys in the business. So still in his teens, Usher moved in with Puffy. The plan was to teach him how to navigate the music world, build his image, and become successful. Usher once said, "I moved to New York City and lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year." But in old interviews, Usher explained that this wasn't a normal mentor-student setup. At first, it felt exciting. He was surrounded by famous people and energy, learning everything he could. But soon, that excitement turned into discomfort and confusion. Usher began noticing strange things. Parties that felt off. People showing up at weird hours. Actions that didn't match Diddy's polished public image. Usher said it was a lot to handle. He was young, far from home, and thrown into a lifestyle that seemed more chaotic than helpful.
Eventually, the mentorship faded away, and Usher started to step back. He doesn't talk much about that time now, but fans have always believed it left a deep impact on him. And with all these new claims, and Justin now sharing his own story, people are taking a fresh look at Usher's past. You see, Usher met Diddy when he was just 13. Diddy even became his legal guardian and produced Usher's first album in 1994. At first, it looked like a great chance, learning from a powerful figure in music. But Usher later said he was exposed to much more than just music during that time. In a 2004 Rolling Stone interview, Usher shared that Diddy introduced him to a lifestyle far too grown up for someone his age. He said the environment was full of things no young teen should ever see. Now, with lawsuits and new stories piling up against Diddy, People are rethinking Usher's early years.
What used to sound like wild industry tales now seem more worrying, especially since Usher was just a kid. Usher once joked about it, saying they used to fight over cereal in the mornings. At his 35th birthday in 2013, Usher talked openly about his early career and how Diddy influenced him. According to the Daily Mail, Diddy was at the party when Usher gave a speech about being introduced to the fast celebrity life. "I was introduced to everything by Puff Daddy when I was only 15, Usher said. He talked about the parties and wild lifestyle that came from being around Diddy. Even though he admitted he saw it all, Usher said he never let it take over his life. He also said he wouldn't trade the advice Diddy gave him. Then, in a 2016 interview with Howard Stern, Usher revisited those days. He talked about the so-called Puffy Flavor Camp, the name given to Diddy's mentorship trips.
Usher described those trips as full of weird and curious moments. When Stern asked if Usher would send his kids to a camp like that, Usher quickly said, "Hell no." He said there were strange things going on that he didn't understand at the time. Looking back, and with all the new claims against Diddy, Usher's past words now feel more serious. What seemed like crazy stories now raise tough questions about what young artists were really going through. Usher hasn't said much about Diddy lately. His silence has been noticeable ever since the lawsuits and serious claims against the Bad Boy Records boss began. While other stars have quietly stepped away or made comments, Usher has stayed totally quiet. Not even a single public word. But in September 2024, fans noticed something odd. Usher had deleted every post from his account on X, formerly known as Twitter. His whole timeline was gone. No goodbye message. No reason. When asked, Usher said he was hacked.
Still, the timing was too perfect for many to believe. This happened just as the FBI reportedly started looking into Diddy and his circle. So, theories started flying everywhere. Some think Usher is staying silent because Diddy still has control over him or knows something damaging. Others believe Usher wiped his posts to remove any links that could tie him to what's now being exposed. Fans say Usher had a front row seat to Diddy's lifestyle from a very young age. It's clear he saw a lot early on. Whether he's protecting himself or others, or just doesn't want to be involved, his silence is loud. And in a moment when everyone is paying attention, that silence says a lot. As Justin Bieber begins to speak out about what he experienced with Diddy, fans are starting to connect the dots. Usher's old comments now seem like early warnings about a world that may have hurt more young stars than anyone guessed.
Now, it looks like Justin is ready to talk. Not just about what happened to him, but about everything he saw while growing up around some of the most powerful names in music. For a long time, people thought Justin's wild years were just teenage drama. But now, fans are starting to believe it was something deeper. Maybe it wasn't just rebellion. Maybe it was the result of real pain. People close to Justin say he was there near the end. When Diddy's parties weren't just wild, they were disturbing. He wasn't brought to events just to have fun. He was shown a dark side of the music world that no teen should have seen. And he wasn't alone. Usher was often there too, already having gone through similar things with Diddy. Justin is now said to be opening up more about what he saw behind closed doors. He's explaining what it was like when the cameras were off and the truth came out. He saw how Diddy acted.
He saw how Diddy treated Usher, and it wasn't just mentorship or music. There was a hidden power dynamic, and Justin, still a kid, was stuck in the middle of it. Now, after years of keeping quiet, deleting posts, and dodging questions, it looks like he's done carrying that burden alone. While talking about Usher, Justin is also calling out others who were involved. One of those people is Meek Mill. In a lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones against Diddy. One shocking claim was buried in the notes, but it caused a lot of buzz online. Jones claimed that Diddy once bragged about having both Meek Mill and Usher. Even though neither of them are accused of anything in the lawsuit, their names still made it out into the public. There was even an audio leak. What? Hold on. Meek responded fast on X, formerly Twitter, with a long string of posts shutting the claims.
He said, "No man or what would ever try me on gay stuff, or the whole place would get flipped." He added, "Woke up seeing this on every blog, like they know I'm coming." That's classic Meek, raw, direct, and emotional online. But this time, that blunt style didn't help him. Instead of calming things down, it made fans even more curious. Because the louder he denied it, the more people started digging and joking. Over the years, Meek has been linked to Diddy in several stories. They were seen at parties together, including the famous 2014 Grammys after party that Meek hosted. That party was so wild, the police had to shut it down, adding even more fuel to the rumors. But Meek has always denied any romantic or sexual link with Diddy. Their relationship, he says, was all about music. They worked together between 2012 and 2015. Meek was featured on Diddy's track, "I Want the Love." And Diddy showed up on Meek's song, "Cold Hearted."
So it's clear they had a working relationship and creative bond. But anything more? Meek has made it clear he says no. Still, whenever two big stars like Meek and Diddy work together and go to the same parties, people expect drama. And the more flashy the party, the more wild the rumors. But Meek hasn't just ignored the gossip. He's fought back every time it pops up, making sure people know he's focused on his music, not drama. In fact, Meek took it a step further. He said he'd pay a private team $100,000 to find out who started these stories about him and Diddy. That shocked people. This wasn't just denial anymore. It was war. It showed that Meek believed someone was trying to ruin his name on purpose. It's interesting that Meek never really replied directly to what Diddy has said or done. Instead, he kept his messages short but firm. In April, he posted, "I don't believe no Diddy story," and "once they lied about me."
He was clear. He thinks it's all made up and feels targeted. It's like he's saying, "This isn't my first time dealing with fake stuff." Now, some think Meek is so quick to call these stories lies because he's not ready to face the truth or doesn't want to. Admitting anything, especially about someone as powerful as Diddy, would open the door to judgment and criticism. It's not just about what happened. It's about how people would react and the pain that comes with telling such a personal story. Some fans feel Meek pushes back so hard because it's easier to say no than to face the mess that might come from being honest. Being vulnerable in public is scary. Everything you say gets turned into gossip or memes. Meek is known for being tough and unfiltered on social media, which makes it hard to know what he's really feeling. And if Meek ever did open up, it could change a lot. His public image, his industry connections, and even how fans see him.
That's a big burden. Sometimes people deal with it by staying quiet or brushing it off instead of facing it. That doesn't mean Meek is lying. It might just mean he's protecting himself in the only way he knows. And there are other celebrities too that Justin reportedly saw hanging around Puff. Diddy has been known for throwing wild, over-the-top parties for years, and rapper Fabulous seems to have attended quite a few of them. Back in 2021, Fab posted a funny story on Instagram about sneaking out of one of Diddy's parties. He used what's known as an Irish exit, leaving without telling anyone, pretending to go to the bathroom, then just disappearing. It's a classic move when you want to leave quietly without killing the party vibe. Fab explained it well. He said sometimes you get talked into going to an after party even when you're tired and just want to head back to your hotel. But you don't want to be the one who ruins the fun.
So instead of saying goodbye, he told Diddy he was going to the bathroom and then just left. And get this, it was 7 a.m. and Diddy was still going strong. Fab even said, "This dude was still lit." Diddy even joked with Fab later, saying, "You've never really partied with me." While some people got pulled into the craziness, others ran as soon as things felt off. On a recent episode of the We in Miami podcast, veteran rapper Uncle Luke hinted at how crazy Diddy's parties really were. He didn't spill all the details, but his expression said enough. Clearly, there was a lot going on behind the scenes. Someone on the podcast asked Uncle Luke why he always seemed to leave early from those parties. He kept his answer short but meaningful. I don't know what happens after hours, but I didn't want to find out. I know my place. Basically, he knew those late night scenes weren't for him, and he wisely stayed away.
Uncle Luke also shared a story that showed just how cautious he was about getting too close to Diddy's circle. He talked about his hit song, I Wanna Rock, which was sampled by French Montana in Pop That, a track that featured Drake, Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne. Diddy invited Uncle Luke to be in the music video, but Luke said no. He just didn't feel like it was the right environment for him. When the host asked if he at least got paid for the sample, Luke said flat out, nah, I ain't want no check. And when someone else on the podcast said, all money ain't good money, Luke nodded like he totally agreed. For him, staying true to his values was more important than any money or fame. And honestly, keeping that distance might have saved him from getting caught up in the mess surrounding Diddy. A few days later, Uncle Luke dropped another hint in a video.
He suggested that Diddy might have angered some big corporate players, which could explain why he's now facing so many legal issues. Basically, he was saying, this isn't just about drama. There are powerful forces behind the scenes. And when you look at Diddy's business history, that theory might make sense. In June 2023, Diddy officially ended his partnership with Diageo, the company behind Ciroc Vodka and DeLay and Tequila. Things got so bad between them, they nearly went to court. Diddy actually sued Diageo, saying they didn't support their deals properly. But Diageo fired back with some shocking details. They said Diddy had made nearly $1 billion from their brands, but he had only invested $1,000 of his own money. That little detail made headlines. It showed there was more drama going on behind the scenes than most people knew. So Uncle Luke's theory that Diddy upset the wrong people in business suddenly doesn't sound so crazy.
It shows there might be a much bigger game being played beyond what's seen on social media or in gossip blogs. Justin Bieber's journey to fame is something most people know about. But what's talked about less is how some powerful people in the industry were closely involved in his early years, especially Diddy. Bieber was found at just 13 years old by Scooter Braun, a former marketing expert who saw massive potential in him. Scooter teamed up with Usher to create a joint music company called Rain & Braun Music Group, just to launch Justin's career. And that's where Diddy entered the scene. In a YouTube video posted by Bieber in November 2009, when he was only 15, Diddy talked about spending 2 full days with the young star. He made it sound like they were having fun, but also said, we can't really say what we're doing, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
What's important is that Diddy didn't have legal custody of Justin, unlike how he once did with Usher. So this time, it wasn't long-term. It was just an intense, short visit. In one part of a video, Diddy asked Justin what he wanted to do. Justin joked, "Let's go get some girls." And Diddy replied, "A man after my own heart. That's what I'm talking about." It came across as playful and friendly, almost like a big brother kind of talk. But looking back, it also showed how early Justin was being brought into a very grown-up lifestyle. Fast forward to December 2010, when Justin was 16. There's another video on Diddy's YouTube channel where he's teaching Justin how to do a swag walk. In the video, Diddy says, "You haven't been calling me or hanging out like we used to." It was clear they had built some kind of relationship, even if it wasn't constant. As Justin got older and more famous, the two were seen together less and less, but they seemed to stay friendly.
In 2014, on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian told a wild story about going to a party where half the people were naked. When her sister Kourtney asked who was there, Khloe mentioned Quincy Combs, Diddy's son. This added more fuel to the fire about what kind of parties Diddy was really throwing. Put all this together, and you see that Justin's early career involved being around some intense, very adult situations, with Diddy right in the middle of it. And while most people just saw the polished, clean-cut pop star, these behind-the-scenes moments tell a more complicated story. Recently, Justin has started opening up in ways that are surprising many people. He's begun to talk about how, when he was younger, Diddy made him watch some really intense things. Things that most people would agree no teenager should ever be exposed to. It seems like those early hangouts with Diddy weren't just fun or mentorship.
Justin's now saying there was a darker, more uncomfortable side to those times. From what he's described, it sounds like Diddy made him witness stuff that felt wrong, and way too grown up for someone his age. He hasn't said exactly what it was, but his serious tone makes it clear. It wasn't right. This brings up serious concerns about the world Justin was brought into, and whether it helped or harmed him. And considering Diddy had such a strong influence on Justin early on, it really makes you think. Now Justin is challenging that image, showing that his past wasn't just about music and success. It came with real pain. So what do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you liked this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you'll know when I post again. I drop videos like this every week, sharing the truth behind your favorite stars.